What is up, guys? I am back with another video today. I've just got back from watching Spider-Man Brand New Day, and oh my god, guys, what a film. That's all I can say right now. Like, my head is like still trying to take it all in from what I've just seen. Man, this film was just so good. It was absolutely so good. Man, Spider-Man Brand New Day is the type of film we definitely needed for Spider-Man. We definitely needed it, I could tell you that. I really like this film a lot. Is it the best Spider-Man film that's been out? Probably not, but I definitely think this is one of the better films in Tom Holland's run as Spider-Man. To be honest, it's quite good. I really like the way it's been shot visually. It looks a lot better compared to the first three films we got under John Watts. Destin Daniel Cretton did an amazing job with this film. Like, the writing was great, the visuals were great as well. Like, some of the POV shots, like in first person, like even inside the mask, were great when you're swinging around. The swinging and then some of the takedowns, which they did confirm, some of the takedowns in the film were inspired from the Marvel Spider-Man games from Insomniac, which is really cool. So there's a lot of inspiration taken from that as well. I did like what John Watts did with the first trilogy. But yeah, Destin Daniel Cretton, he has brought so many bangers to the MCU, especially with Shang-Chi and with the Wonder Man show recently as well. And now he's just done another banger now with Spider-Man Brand New Day. Man, this film was just so good. But yeah, it's definitely in the right direction for Spider-Man, I'll tell you that. Obviously, I do have a few nitpicks about it that are like, why did they do that decision or whatever. But I mean, it is what it is now. I can't complain about it. I probably would have preferred they gone a different direction, but yeah, obviously if we didn't have our nitpicks, then it wouldn't be an entertaining thoughts video, would it? But yeah, guys, overall this film, I thought it was a good film. I really enjoyed it. I definitely had a fun time with it. It's definitely a lot of fun for this film. It's not the best Spider-Man film, I'd say, but I think it's definitely a great one, to be honest. So I'd probably say it's probably like an 8 out of 10 if I had to give it a review, basically. But yeah, but that's like my non-spoiler sort of thoughts of the film. So I'm now going to be going into spoilers, guys. So if you haven't seen the film, what the hell are you doing? Get to the theatre now and go see it, because you're missing out. But yeah, let's jump into this. So obviously we start off with, obviously we know the events, so what happened at the end of No Way Home. So we do have Peter on his own in this film, and yeah, he's just a young 20-year-old just living on his own in New York. That's another thing I love about New York in this film. It feels like New York is alive in this film, which is great to see. But yeah, Peter's basically living on his own. And obviously everyone did forget about him at the end of No Way Home. But yeah, he's just trying to get by, and he's spending a lot of time just being Spider-Man more than Peter Parker, because he's not really spending time with other people, to be honest. He's just putting too much time into being Spider-Man. But obviously, because there was one point in the film where a girl does take interest in him because they live in the same apartment building, but he kind of just like doesn't really acknowledge it, which I thought, come on, Pete. So I think a lot of people do want Pete to get a new love interest of some kind in this next trilogy, some new like friends as well to bring a bigger friendship group, basically. Because like Ned and MJ are cool, but I wanted them to explore that aspect a bit more. But maybe they'll go a bit more into that in the next film potentially. But yeah, obviously Pete does reunite, spoiler alert, with MJ and Ned. Basically, they do remember in the end who they are, because obviously that MJ finds out a little bit earlier than Ned, because at the end of the film, Ned finds out right at the end where Pete and Ned do their handshake from the previous films, which is pretty cool, and then Ned realizes and remembers, which is so cool. I like that moment. But yeah, it was cool seeing MJ in that, and Ned. They were always cool in these films. I do like them a lot. The only thing I didn't really like about their inclusion in the film, because I think I might be the only one with this, but I think a lot of people would say the same. I think a lot of people wanted them to not remember who he is in this film. And we, like I was saying before, I was kind of hoping maybe we would get introduced to like maybe a Gwen or potentially a Harry Osborn or like a Felicia Hardy as like a new friendship group for Pete, to be honest. And then obviously you could bring MJ and Ned back later into the story. Because that's the thing, we do find out that MJ does have a boyfriend, a new boyfriend. Because Pete does confess his love and that, because MJ, the reason she remembers is because she finds the note that Pete wrote for her at the end of No Way Home. But she doesn't love him, basically, because obviously she don't remember him and doesn't know Pete at all. So at the moment, I think they're just going to be friends again. It seems like in the future. Potentially they'll get back maybe, I don't know, the next film or like maybe the end of the next trilogy or whatever. But we'll see on that front. But we do realise that MJ in this film has got a new boyfriend, which is actually funny because he's played by Ezra Bridger in Ahsoka, which I thought, oh, okay, that's interesting. But funny enough, I don't know if any of you guys caught his name, because I don't remember hearing what his name was in the film. I just know him as MJ's new boyfriend, which is interesting. Yeah, I didn't actually catch his name because I don't think we actually heard his name. I might be wrong, but we'll have to wait and see. If any of you caught his name, let me know down below. But yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, that's the only thing I didn't really like about that. I was kind of hoping maybe they would keep it a little bit more like they wouldn't remember until like maybe the next film or something. But I don't know if it's just me. It just felt a little bit rushed. I liked how they handled it in this film when they did remember. But I was just a bit like, oh, okay, I was kind of hoping maybe they would wait till the next film to do this, when they would remember. But, I mean, it is what it is now. But, I mean, maybe now that they've done it, maybe we still will get a new, like, love interest and, like, a new friends as well for Pete. Like Harry, Felicia, or Gwen or something. Because I still think there's potential to still do those characters in the MCU. But we'll see. But other than that, let's talk about some of the other supporting cast. We obviously have the Punisher. Man, I absolutely love Frank in this film. Frank was amazing. Like the banter between him and Pete is like a brotherly sort of relationship, it felt like. And yeah, it was cool. And even at the end, because spoiler alert, we'll get to this other character in a minute. Frank does accidentally shoot someone, basically, at the end of the film, who's meant to shoot someone else, but because Pete obviously sensed it with his spider sense, he took the bullet. And then we do get this iconic shot where, like in the, I think it was the Civil War comic, where Frank is carrying Spider-Man into the hospital, his like frail body. So yeah, he's in critical condition at the end of the film, but he does survive, obviously. But yeah, it was quite funny when he got out of the hospital, and they need to try and get Pete out of the hospital without the public knowing his identity, because there's loads of Spider-Man fans outside the hospital, which is quite funny. So Pete leaves his hospital room and Frank pretends to be Spider-Man, which is quite funny. He puts on his costume and like his mask and that. That was quite funny. But yeah, that was pretty funny. But yeah, Frank was really good. I really liked him, and especially when Frank comes in to help Spider-Man fight the Hulk. Man, the Hulk in this film, oh my god. It was cool to have Bruce Banner back. I really liked having Bruce Banner back, to be honest. We did get to see him briefly as Professor Hulk when he's being controlled by our mystery villain of the film. And because he loses his inhibitor, he doesn't turn back into Bruce. Well, he does turn back into Bruce, but he doesn't turn back into Professor Hulk. He turns back into the raging monster Hulk, which is so sick. And we get this iconic like fight with Spider-Man, Hulk, and Punisher involved as well, which is so sick. Man, I love the shot where Spider-Man is using Shocker's gauntlets from the damage control building to fight the Hulk, which is pretty cool. Because they kind of teased that earlier in the film with Shocker's gauntlets, because obviously damage control have obviously taken loads of alien and like villain technology from previous superhero battles and that. But yeah, that was really cool, to be honest, to see that fight. The Hulk's story at the end of the film, though, he gets taken into custody by the end of the film. So has he been taken to prison because of obviously this rampage? But it wasn't actually his fault, because he was obviously being controlled by a mystery villain. So I don't know. Is he just locked up in prison now? Are they just taking him into custody? Because that's what it seemed like, from what the news channel said in the film, which is quite interesting. So I don't know if we're going to see Hulk in Doomsday or Secret Wars. Same with Punisher and Spider-Man. We don't know if they're going to be in Doomsday and Secret Wars. I imagine they would be, but we need to wait and see until that film comes out. But yeah, Hulk and Punisher were great in this film. Right, let's get into our mystery villain and our other villains in the film. So we had some villains in the film. So we had a montage at the beginning of the film. So I really like the montage at the beginning where you see Spider-Man fighting all these different villains, like the Hand, which was really cool because they end up working for damage control and later in the film as well, which is interesting to see because they've got no lead apparently, which is quite interesting to see. And then we got to see Scorpion. Oh man, Michael Mando back as Scorpion was so good, and the outfit, the costume, I really loved it. The fight as well was cool. I just want to see more Scorpion in the future, man. If they build up to a Sinister Six, they need to put Scorpion on that roster. But yeah, we got to see other villains like Boomerang in this montage, Tarantula, Ramrod, I think, and we did see Tombstone. Now, the only thing with Tombstone is, I think a lot of people, from what we were hearing from leaks and that, I think people were thinking that Tombstone was the true villain of this film, but that wasn't the case. Because there was a blink at a moment with Tombstone. He was just in the montage. I generally thought Tombstone was meant to have a larger role. I thought it was going to be the case, but that's what I was surprised about, because I thought, oh, okay, I thought from what we were hearing he might have had a bigger role, but because it was really interesting, because they were keeping him such a secret in the marketing, which I thought, okay, so if he's only going to be in the film for like 2 seconds, why would you keep it a secret? I mean, it does seem a bit silly, to be honest, but like in the final cut, but I don't know, maybe there's more stuff for Tombstone in the film, but I don't know. But yeah, that was interesting to see that. But our true villain, well, I say villain, but so we find out there's a telepath in this film taking control of people, basically, and obviously while we take over Scorpion and Hulk and Punisher and other characters in the film like MJ and other civilians as well. This is the character that is obviously played by Sadie Sink. Now, her role in this film has been a mystery for a long time. There's been loads of theories of who she could be playing, but they've been keeping it secret so much. But we finally found out who is she in this film. And it's been revealed now. So, if you haven't seen the film, and you want to know, go watch it and come back to this. Yeah? Cool. Right, so Sadie Sink is officially playing the new Jean Grey of the MCU, which is so cool. And I think it was kind of obvious because it was sort of leaked and rumours and that, so it was kind of obvious, but to see the confirmation in the film was so great, because when I was in my theatre screen, there was so many people in my screening and it was literally packed, and everyone started screaming when they saw her name. Like, my theatre was so crazy on opening night. Like, but yeah, it was so cool to get that confirmation finally. But yeah, she was the sort of villain of the film, but she does sort of redeem herself at the end, I guess. But yeah, I imagine we're definitely going to see her more soon, because I imagine she's going to be one of the leads in the new X-Men reboot that's coming from Marvel Studios. But I reckon there was a rumour about her being in Avengers Secret Wars as well, so potentially we could see her there next, potentially, which would be interesting. But yeah, she definitely killed the role, man, and I can't wait to see more of Jean Grey in the new MCU. We do learn the reason why she's sort of being a villain in this film. She's looking for her sister, basically, Sarah Gray. Now, the actress that played her, I thought she did a great job. But we do learn, because she got taken by Damage Control, so that's why Jean Grey was attacking Damage Control in this film, because she's trying to look for her sister because they took her. So Damage Control were the true villains of the film, and Tremel Tillman's character is obviously the leader of Damage Control, and he's playing William Metzger, who I believe is like an X-Men character. He's like an anti-mutant person, I believe, in the comics, that works for that movement in the comics. And in the comics he does not like mutants at all. So yeah, and it does seem like in the film, well, it's hinted at that they killed Jean Grey's sister when they were experimenting on her damage control and that. So Jean obviously loses control of her powers when they obviously captured her. And seeing her control like the hand was really cool. That fight sequence with Spider-Man and the hand was really cool, but she's obviously controlling the hand members. But yeah, that was pretty cool, that moment. Even when Peter finally let her in her mind, and spoiler alert, we got the return of Aunt May in Peter's head. It was nice to have Aunt May back for like a new couple scenes. I really liked that moment. But yeah, Jean Grey is definitely a highlight from this film. But yeah, William Metzger, I think he will be back though, because it's sort of him and Damage Control is sort of like they tried to wipe all their data from the police getting their hands on it, and he's gotten in the wind, it looks like. So I reckon I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to be one of the villains in the new X-Men reboot. I wouldn't be surprised, because I think that has been a rumour. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if that is the case. Because it does feel like this has been a thing. A lot of people have been thinking that Damage Control are going to be the new like anti-mutant movement, especially with how they were going after Wonder Man, Miss Marvel as well. They've been popping up everywhere, like in She-Hulk and previous Spider-Man films. Like they're just popping up everywhere. It just seemed like Damage Control is becoming this new anti-mutant movement organization, and pretty corrupt, to be honest. So yeah, I do think Damage Control are like going to be a big problem in the future, because I wouldn't be surprised with all this alien technology and all this they're taking from villains and heroes. They're going to be responsible for probably getting characters like maybe Trask or something involved, where they'll create the Sentinels to hunt mutants potentially in the future. But yeah, but other than that, that's my thoughts on that. Another cool character to see was Yelena, Black Widow, the new Black Widow. They finally called her the new Black Widow, because I think a lot of people were just calling her Yelena or White Widow, but it's confirmed now that she's now the new Black Widow, because they even say it in the film. But yeah, she's going on about like, there's quite a funny scene seeing her that she's got her own office, but it's in like a sauna basically, which is quite funny. But yeah, she was pretty funny in the film, and we're obviously going to see her in Doomsday soon. But yeah, other than that, guys, I think we've pretty much covered most of the film, to be honest. I'm interested to see where Peter's journey is going next. There is an end credit, but it's not like a proper end credit, I would say. It kind of starts off as like a funny gag, because basically Ned makes this Spidey tracker app so people in the city can see where Spider-Man is if he's going to a crime or something. Yeah, so it keeps zooming out on this app basically, and we do see that Spider-Man's location is no longer on Earth, like it's in space or potentially in another universe. So it probably means it's like it's teasing his involvement maybe either in Doomsday or Secret Wars. So yeah, it's quite interesting. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for the film. I mean, the end credit, you don't really need to stay for it, to be honest. You don't really gain anything. It was kind of like, I think a lot of people were expecting something a bit more interesting than what they went with. But yeah, I don't know, because they were saying that they was going to tease Doomsday and Secret Wars. In a way it did, but I think they could have done a bit of a better job with the end credit, in my opinion. But that's just my thoughts, though. But yeah, overall, guys, the film, I loved it so much. It was a great sort of street level Spider-Man film, which is what a lot of people have been wanting. I've been wanting that for a while. I'm interested to see where we're going to go. The visuals in this were great. And I hope they get Destin Daniel Cretton to stay on for the next couple of Spider-Man films, hopefully. Because I think he's doing Wonder Man Season 2 next. So maybe he'll do a Shang-Chi sequel, I don't know, or maybe they'll get someone else for that, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, guys, that is my thoughts. I want to know what your thoughts are on Spider-Man Brand New Day. Let me know down below in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe on the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.